Good evening, everyone. This is Shauna coming to you on the 1st of June, 2020. And this is kind of a special edition of From Shauna's Desk because I'm coming here today to respond, to exhort us, I hope, to encourage us, to exhort us to action um, in light of all of the calamities that are happening right now for all of us. Um, and I just wanted to come and remind us of a few things. And one of those things that we have to remind ourselves of, I think, is that when we see evil, when we see wrong, we have an obligation as human moral authorities to stand against that. Not just with our words. Our words are important, especially when we're trying to bring awareness to it. But with our actions, we have to do something to make it better. The Bible says, let us love not in word or in tongue, but in deed and in truth. And Gandhi said that one act of kindness is infinitely more powerful than 1,000 heads bowed in prayer, which doesn't mean that we shouldn't pray. It just means that our we have to put our actions where our mouth is. We have to put feet on our beliefs, or it doesn't work for us. And so today I've been thinking about the George Floyd uh, travesty and the wrongdoing there um, on a lot of people's parts. The people who put those officers and those politicians and those systems in place to allow that to happen. Yes, the people who perpetrated the action directly, and the people who stood by and did nothing to stop it. They're all morally culpable, and that means everybody. That means all of us. It's not about who had more or who had less. It's about what are we going to do to fix it? What are we going to do to fix that? But we have to remember something. When we go to fix something that's wrong, sometimes we have to put a band aid on it to stop the bleeding, yes. But eventually, if we don't get to the root cause of what's causing the bleeding, it's just going to keep bleeding. And we're going to keep using band aids or tourniquets or whatever we need to use to stop it. We need to go to the root cause of it. And the root cause is that we are a disunited, fractured, sinful people who don't see ourselves in one another. If we saw ourselves in one another, and if we knew what justice really is and truth really is, we wouldn't allow it. We would come against it, and we would see change happen. We have to remember something too. We have to do the work in us, but we can do a lot of good. We could say, well, I'm just one person. I signed one petition, or I supported one protest, or I talked to one person, or I helped one person, or I let somebody vent, or I took somebody's abuse who didn't agree with me because I knew they were speaking from a place of deep pain, deep hurt, a pain that I don't have any direct experience in. I can have a sense of what that pain is like. I can empathize with that, but I can't know that. And there's lots of groups for whom we can say that. Any group that you're not a part of who's ever been wronged, which is everybody. I mean, let's not take this too far afield, but I'm trying to encompass as many people as I can here. We've all been wronged. We've all been on both sides of this. And some of us suffer more and more systemically than others of us. And that means that it's up to us who are in a position to help right now, to speak up right now, and to be the best people we can be right now. Because if we're the best people we can be right now, then we're going to create a better place for everyone else right now. And instead of blaming, instead of pointing fingers, and instead of letting anger and violence destroy what we're trying to build, let's look at ourselves and let's look at what we know in our deepest conscience. If our consciences haven't been seared, we know what's right and what's wrong. Let's really look into ourselves and dare to stand in the light and see the good, the bad, and the ugly in us, and use that to change what's going on. You know, people are asking with the COVID epidemic and then with this outbreak of racism and violence, they're asking, where is God in all of this? What is God doing? And it's easy to say God's not there and God is not the author of evil. And that's true. God is not the author of evil. However, he says that he creates light and he brings darkness. He creates calamity. Look at Isaiah 45, the story of Cyrus, king of Persia. And think about how Cyrus, the story says that the Lord anointed Cyrus, king of Persia, to do what he did, to have victory over all of those nations that he did. And he had victory over a lot of nations, some of them without a fight. They just gave up and surrendered themselves pretty much. But the point is, the nations that Cyrus was conquering probably didn't see a lot of God's hand at work there. But it was for the sake of his people. Now, I don't say that to get into a theological debate. I say that to say this. If you're looking at your life and you're going, oh my God, I've been in isolation for 11 weeks. That's us. We've been here in isolation for 11 weeks. We've been in isolation for 11 weeks. We're at each other's throats. There's little work on the horizon, which again is me. I don't work this month, most of this month. I have a few clients, but I don't work like I did last month. I have no idea what the budget's going to look like for the next few months. If you're looking at it and you're saying, I don't know what I'm going to do, you got to look at what's left. You got to look at what you have left, and you got to look at it and say, what can I do with what I have left? And how can I be a better person? Because the God that's hiding right now, The God that people are saying, where is God when all this is happening? The God that we're looking for is present. But when we see actions like we've seen over the last week, those actions, not the just protests and the calls to action and the petitions that are calling for change in a positive way, but the finger pointing, the looting, the destruction, the property damage, everything that hurts people, everything that twists what is good. Authority is good, but you have to use it in a proper way. Protection is necessary, but you have to use it in a proper way. If you misuse it, you twist something that's good. And that's what evil does. It twists the good. And when you twist the good, you obscure the truth. And when you obscure the truth, you fail to see the God who is in your midst. So just remember and think about that. And think about whether your actions, your thoughts in the night are obscuring the truth. And do something to help the people who are bringing awareness and who are using their bodies and their voices to protest. There are several petitions online that you can sign in a matter of minutes to bring about positive change in society, to pressure officials in power to make a change for the better. Remember to vote this November. Vote your conscience. Vote in a way that's going to lessen the systemic problems and the systemic hold on the society. And stop the anger just for anger's sake. You can be angry. We're all angry, we're all hurting, we're all disgusted to some extent. But if you use your anger to be destructive, then you're working against the very society that you're trying to build. I'll put some links in the description box down below. One of them is a video on YouTube that was put up by Pastor Thomas Jakes. He's from Dallas, Texas. He runs a mega church there, and I know how y'all feel about mega churches, and I've had my share of difficulties with mega church doctrines and some of the excesses that we've all seen in past decades. But listen to what Bishop Jakes has to say about institutionalized racism and about the importance of standing up. He's been through a lot. He's seen a lot. He's been through marches with Dr. Martin Luther King. He went through the Watts riots in the 60s and the riots in 1992, Rodney King, and so many other people. And he has wisdom, folks. Take a listen to that. He's got some resources also. And take care of yourselves. And do the right thing. Do some good. Okay? And we'll talk very soon. I'll be back on YouTube with a video about the summer and about where the first 90 days of this isolation have taken us. That's coming next week, next Sunday. Will mark 90 days for us. So, meanwhile, take care of yourselves, have a little bit of food for thought, and sit with yourself this week and assess what your culpability is in this situation and how to fix it. Goodwill is found among upright people. So if you do something wrong, you try to fix it. Work with those who are trying to fix it and be part of the solution, not part of the problem. I'll talk to you later. Be safe, stay healthy, everyone. Bye for now.